Hey, this is Mike from All That Remains, and you're listening to Shutter 16 Magazine.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I just feel bad, but thank you for taking my call.
Oh, absolutely. Don't feel bad. So you guys are currently out on the road for the Fall of Ideals 15th anniversary. So I thought we could start by kind of just going back in time a bit and tell us a little bit about what you remember from the making of the album and how this one kind of came together.
Yeah, it's weird because I kind of feel like I remember everything because it feels like it was 5 minutes ago.
Wow. Okay, cool though.
But I don't know. It just came together really fast. I think we wrote. We were only at the time. We all still had normal jobs and stuff. So we were really only rehearsing like 2 nights a week for like 2 hours, and I think we still wrote the entire album in 6 weeks. So it was just like, I don't know, it was just one of those like universe aligning moments or something. It's just like we wrote it, we felt really good about it. We went to do pre-production. Our producer Adam was just like, I don't really think you guys need to change much. This just sounds like a really great album. And then we went and recorded it, and I don't know, it was just the studio. We one of our best friends was producing the album, so we had a blast there. And then I don't know, the whole process, it was just one of those things, like it was just supposed to happen. When we heard the final product, we were just like, okay, well, if this doesn't work, nothing's going to work. But thankfully it worked.
Cool. Now you guys also did like kind of a documentary about the album and all of that stuff. How did that idea come about to like do a little documentary about it?
We have a new manager, and he was just kind of like, there's a lot of footage laying around and stuff. It'd be pretty cool to dig some of the stuff out of the archives and like kind of put together something new. Because we never really, we do have a DVD that came out in 2007, but most people don't even know what DVDs are anymore.
Right.
So, he just mentioned, hey, kind of cool to dig through some of that stuff and then do some new interviews and kind of tie it all together. And, it's the anniversary anyways. It was one of those things where, do a tour, maybe make a little documentary and, just kind of make the most out of it.
Yeah.
We're finding out on this tour we're about, 30 something shows in. The attachment that people have to this album that everyone's talking to us about is really, really cool.
That's awesome. What do you think was like so game changing about the record and, this particular at that time and that it's still, so relevant to people today, 15 years later?
I think with metal and metalcore, I kind of hate the metalcore thing, but it doesn't, I always thought we were just a metal band. But if you want to break it into subgenres, I think with that stuff like that, I think so much of it was just so many people were doing it. And I think with us and Killswitch specifically, it was just songs that people remember. And a lot of people don't really realize that that's kind of the most important thing when it comes to music. And it's not like, hey, cool, I can play this 10-minute guitar solo or this song's 20 minutes long and nobody's going to remember anything. It was really just the things that stuck out to me back then, with whether it was the Fall of Ideals or Killswitch with the End of Heartache and stuff like that, was just, I'm going to remember these songs for a long time.
Yeah, well, because at the end of the day, that's what you do.
Yeah, you're here, 15, 16 years later, and everyone's singing them and telling us stories about, like, this is what happened in high school, and, just really cool story. This is the album that got me into metal, and at the meet and greets every night, someone got a new awesome story about how it's been a big part of their life. So, it's just unbelievable that something like that stuck with people for so long. We're just really lucky.
Yes, that's so cool. Now, how do you think the album itself and, what happened after, how did that shape the future of the band, from that point on? Because like you said, you had, your regular jobs and all that prior to that. So how did that kind of change the game for the band as a whole?
Yeah, that was the end of the regular job time. And by the end of like, I think we toured for almost 2 years on it. And, by the end of that cycle, no one could really go to work anymore because it was just like tour. So we did this Dark and Heart beforehand in 2004, and we noticed a little bit of momentum then. And we were like, oh, okay, maybe if we keep going in the right direction, this will be a real job for us. So when the Fall of Ideals came out, we did Ozfest, and then we opened for Dragon Force for like 3 tours, and then we went and did our first headliner, and every club was sold out. So by the middle of 2007, nobody was really working anymore, and it was just like, all right, you get home from tour, take 2 or 3 weeks off, and go on the next tour. And it was, it's one of those things. You want to do it for a job, and there you go. It's your job now.
Cool. Now, so the tour's, like you said, 30-some dates in, so maybe like 2/3 of the way over right now. But how's it, like you said, there's always some cool stories from the fans. How has it been going so far? Is everything going smoothly, and the crowds are great?
Yeah, I mean, it's as smooth as a tour can go. You have your weather, you have your bus problems, you have all the logistics things
right.
A million things that can go wrong. But we've made it to all the shows, and they've been packed, and people have been having a blast. And God, we've had a marriage proposal the other night at the meet and greet.
Oh, that's cool.
Just the stories about everybody. Just like, hey, they're just, they're sad stories of, my friend passed away and I'm coming to the show because in his honor. And there's every kind of sad story to happy story, every range of stories. There's just somebody's got something about this album and how it affected them, and it's just been great to hear. The shows have been amazing. Now that we're this far into this, the band sounds amazing because you get kind of locked in after 30 shows.
Sure.
After 30 shows, you better sound good.
Now, are you playing the whole album on this tour?
Yeah, we're doing it back to front, which we're like basically starting at the end of the album and going backwards. But yeah, we do play the whole thing.
Okay.
And then we come out and play some come out and play some extra, like the hits.
Right. Right. Okay. Cool. Now, how has the tour been for the band specifically? For you guys being able to get back out there because everything was shut down for a while, and it probably seemed like forever from your perspective.
I thought it was going to be weird with the pandemic and stuff, but everything has pretty much calmed. It feels like the same exact thing that I remember touring. Nothing seems overly restricted. There was only one, I think I went to a diner in Seattle to eat breakfast, and they made me show a vaccine card, which I thought was very strange because there was homeless people doing heroin outside the place. And I thought it was strange that they needed to see a vaccine card.
Well, that's Seattle. That's Seattle.
Yeah, there was that, and I think there was like one Uber driver that was like, "Hey, can you put a mask on?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem."
Yeah.
Other than that, things have been super, super. It just feels like it's always felt, same old stuff. Just go on the road, and it's a very, very long tour, so you just kind of get into a routine.
Cool. Now you have some shows coming up next week in North Carolina next weekend. So you're going to be in Greensboro on the 7th, and then you're going to be in Charlotte, which is where I am, at the Neighborhood Theater on the 8th. So, what can the Carolina fans expect? How crazy is it going to be?
Well, yeah, the places have just been really small and sweaty and loud, and I hope there's if there's a barricade, I hope there's security because there's people getting dropped over the barricade like crazy yesterday. So, just tons of, you're going to hear the whole album, which I definitely feel the need to still mention that we are playing the whole album because people seem confused by it sometimes and they're still yelling out other songs that aren't on the album. So it's like, hey, this is the anniversary tour, so we are playing the whole album, so expect that.
Sure.
And and then just expect just a good time in general, just hot, sweaty, and loud.
Like a metal show should be.
Exactly like it should be, yes. I remember the Neighborhood Theater. We've been there once, so I'm expecting it to be definitely a very intimate vibe.
Cool. Now, are you guys working on any new music, or can we expect something down the pipe?
Yeah, we started some new ideas over the... Well, that was a massively long break, so it was scattered throughout. There's probably like little skeletons to 7 or 8 songs, and we're going to go back and start that. And we are going to try to get an album out by the end of the year. It's definitely no guarantee because bands work very slowly, but we are trying to get like an actual album out by the end of the year because it's been, by November, December, it's going to be 4 years. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we have something to look forward to as far as that goes down the road.
Yeah, we're not done putting out new music, that's for sure.
Okay, cool. I'm sure everybody will be happy to hear that. Now, tell me a little bit about the drummer, because I see that you've got Anthony Barone out with you guys. So
yeah.
How's that working out?
He is absolutely incredible. I didn't know anything about him until he kind of came out, and he's just like super young kid. I mean, young compared to us. And
I feel you.
very, very young and just super calm and awesome to be around. And then, God, I think he had 4 or 5 days to learn the stuff. And I had gone home for 2 days to see my wife, and I came back, and I got to the venue and we sound checked, and he played through the whole set with absolutely perfect, and I was just like, geez, dude, okay. So, I mean, yeah, I didn't know a ton about his history, but as soon as I played one set with him, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I feel like I've been playing in a band with you for 20 years, so he's that good.
Oh, cool. So I'll look forward to seeing him at the show as well.
Yeah, he's a pleasure to watch, trust me.
Cool. So we have another, how many shows left? A dozen at least on this?
I think we're down to about 17 or 18 shows left. We've got 3 weeks.
Okay. 3 more weeks, and you're going to be in North Carolina, and then I know you're going to be back up in New Jersey, because I know one of our staffers is going to be at that show at the Wellmont, I think it is.
Yeah, we're going to go do. We're spending about a week after tomorrow in Houston. We're going to spend about a week in Florida, and then we're going up to do the Carolina shows, and then after that, yeah, Baltimore, Philly, or Baltimore, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, or whatever, and then that's who we're. And I live about 45 minutes away from Hartford, Connecticut. That's where the last show is.
Okay, cool. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys at the Neighborhood Theater next weekend, and I'm sure everybody that's gotten out to the tour has had a blast, and we are looking forward to it. And I thank you so much for taking the time to fill us in about, the tour and the Fall of Ideals in general, because it's always so cool to go back and when a band has an album that's just been such a big part of people's lives, and then they get to go back and revisit it and live and see what it, compare your life from 15 years ago to today and have that album be still a part of you is pretty awesome.
Unbelievable. Yeah, thank you so